just had this eye of the tiger. They weren't going to lose.
The perfect season, 15-0, back-to-back national champions, setting records along the way.
It's connection.
Welcome to our 2023 championship celebration. I'm Maria Martin, and I remember sitting in this exact location last year talking about Georgia winning their first national championship in 41 years. And as fate would have it, the Dogs, back-to-back national champions, the first team in college football to do that in the playoff era, the first team in college football to do that in general since Alabama did it in 2012 and 2013 in the BCS era. What a beautiful day it is right outside of Sanford Stadium. Got my good friend here, our chief meteorologist, Chris Holcomb, University of Georgia graduate.
That's right.
Die-hard Georgia Bulldog fan.
Yes.
You're so excited to be here. I know you are.
I am so excited to be sitting on these very streets that I used to walk back and forth to class, across the bridge, over to the journalism building, and so exciting. Just watching the open of the show just gets you going again. It's been a week, but it's so fun to be here. And this town is electric. It is like a game day here in Athens today. It is just as crowded right now as it is on a game day here in Athens. So many fans wanting to be here to celebrate this team that they have been so passionate about that has brought back the back-to-back national championship.
It's unbelievable. You can hear the excitement in Chris's voice, and you'll be able to see the excitement from the fans all afternoon. We also have an incredible crew to get you guys through this parade coverage today. At the start of the parade route, we have our wonderful anchors, Jennifer Bellamy and Faith Jesse. And then along the parade route, as the Dogs make their way towards Sanford Stadium, we have our wonderful reporter, Savannah Levins, on the scene. And then once we go inside of Sanford Stadium, Reggie Chapman, our sports reporter, who was in Los Angeles with myself and the Dogs as they won yet another national championship, he will be there bringing you all of the coverage from inside the stadium. And for the second year in a row, Chris, we have former player perspective. Yeah. You won't get anywhere else. I'm really excited to bring in our guests. We've got Russ Tanner here. He was a part of Mark Richt's first class in 2001, a two-time SEC champion and former center for the University of Georgia Bulldogs. Russ, great to see you today.
Hey, so excited to be here. I appreciate the opportunity to be able to celebrate another national championship for the Dogs. Man, it is a special, special day.
Unbelievable.
To be in Athens, Georgia.
Look, this is a team that in the beginning of the year, people did not think that they would win the SEC, much less a national championship. Were they really doubted, and did you believe that they could be 15-0 and winning another one?
I mean, as far as if anybody thinks we could be 15-0 after the amount of talent they lost last year, right? 15 guys going to the NFL, all these first-round picks, a walk-on quarterback coming back again. What's Georgia going to do? Now, were they doubted? They were favorites in every game according to Vegas, but there were definitely detractors this year that thought, hey, they ain't Bama, so we'll see how it goes. But, from open the whistle to now, man, they proved it.
As a former player, you are a former player, but you're not a former dog. You're a dog for life. Were you just as excited about the national championship as if you had been on the field playing?
100%.
Oh, yeah.
It is it's such an honor to have played here, and it's a brotherhood. So guys like me who are old now, man, I'm 40, I got a lot of kids, life insurance.
Yeah, you're old, right? Yeah.
You feel like you are part of the groundwork that was laid. Yeah. And when these guys come, it feels like it's a culmination of a bunch of men who have gone for years and years before us, and these guys here. So absolutely, feel like you're a part of it. Feel very confident saying we won again. So yeah.
I'm really excited that you said laid the ground that was built. We are going to get much more into that. He's going to give you so much awesome perspective. But before we go into anything further with Russ, we're going to go to the beginning of the parade. As I said earlier, we have our wonderful anchors, Jennifer Bellamy and Faith Jesse. Good morning, ladies. What's it look like at the beginning of the parade?
Good morning from the classic city of Athens. We are so excited to be out here for this parade. You can see everybody out here is so excited. It's feel that you guys were talking about. And we are getting ever closer to the start of that victory parade. We just heard a big clap a little while ago. That's because they're shutting down this street. Yep. We're at the corner of Lumpkin and Pinecrest, and this is where the parade is going to get started. The team is going to come down this street in those flatbeds and the trucks and Corvettes and whatever, along with the coaches. And these fans are so excited to just see everyone who they have been cheering on all season long. That perfect season.
So much energy, so much black and red. You know, when we came and we've been waiting, everybody's been out here for hours preparing for this moment. People are just so excited. Can I hear three-peat? Anybody three-peat? Look, everybody wants a three-peat. We finished 2 times, and everybody's waiting for a three-peat, so we're excited to see these boys come down.
We're excited, and I'll tell you something else, something that has been kind of shifting for everybody out here. It's cold.
Yes.
But I think the anticipation from the team and the sun and all of that excitement for seeing the Dogs in person one last time for the season is keeping everybody very, very warm. So we are going to continue to monitor things from out here and let you know how everything is going to go as those players start to make their way down Lumpkin toward the dog walk and that ceremony later today.
Absolutely. And now we are going to check in with our colleague Savannah, who is out on the parade route talking to some fans. Hey, Savannah.
Hey, yeah, a Bulldog on the dog walk right here. I'm a UGA grad, so this feels amazing. I know all my fellow alum and UGA fans watching from home right now are psyched too, as are all of these hundreds of people lined up. This right here, we're at kind of the intersection right to my left is Baxter and Lumpkin, and from there all the way to Sanford through the Tate Center is just packed with people, all these fans coming by to cheer on the Dogs. I talked to so many different ages of fans earlier today too. I mean, you could probably see on this video right now there's a lot of little babies in their little Georgia hats and people who have been Bulldogs for generations. A lot of like grown adults, grandparents who say, yeah, my dad, my great-granddad went to UGA and it's in my blood, and you can kind of feel that vibe here for sure. So this right here is where the parade's going to be coming through, finishing at Sanford where Maria and Chris are, but definitely great vibes right here. A lot of Georgia pride. Speaking of Maria and Chris, I think we're going to toss it back to them right now. Guys, how's it looking over there where you are?
Sanford Stadium, it'll be a really incredible environment. I heard them talking about the weather a little bit, Chris.
Yes.
Tell us what it looks like. It is pretty chilly out here.
Jennifer was talking about how cold it is on Lumpkin.
Yes.
It's cold down here, too. We're sitting in the sun, so that helps us a little bit. But temperatures started in the 30s this morning. We're in the upper 30s now, moving into the 40s as we get closer to parade time and for the big ceremony at 2 o'clock. Take a look at your weather. We're going to see some ups and downs as we go through the next few days here. Tomorrow morning, we're talking about temperatures in the low 20s or in the 20s, and then getting back to the 50s, warming up. And then we'll talk about some rain chances later on next week, but we'll save that for next week. We just do not want the rain today, and we're not going to get any rain for this parade. Just a little chilly. And, you know, we've seen a lot of people really bundled up for this, too. But in the sunshine, it's really not that bad.
Yeah, and I think everyone's come prepared because,
they have.
like you said, no rain on our parade today.
No way.
I'm really excited about that. Chris, thank you so much. We also have some really great coverage from Reggie Chapman inside Sanford Stadium. Reggie, how's it going?
Welcome inside of Sanford Stadium, where the party will begin in just a little while. The 2022 national champions, the Georgia Bulldogs, celebrating back-to-back national titles. This year's celebration inside of Sanford will look a little bit different. As the stage has shifted, fans will only be able to sit in the north, the west, and the east sides of the stands. And of course, the fans have already started to come in starting at 12 o'clock. Now, on game days, we normally see the Dogs do a dog walk into the stadium, no different from today. That begins at 1 o'clock before the actual program begins at 2 o'clock here on Vince Dooley Field. Now, I'll tell you guys, it is a beautiful day here. The sun is out. There's not a cloud in the sky, but it is chilly. If you're not already inside here, make sure you bundle up. Make sure you bring some gloves, maybe a hat, and enjoy the day as we have a fun time inside of the stadium. Guys?
Reggie, thank you. Appreciate that. I did get a peek inside of the stadium. It looks beautiful. There's such an awesome setup, as Reggie just showed you. I think it's going to be such a great day celebrating these.
You know, and we've seen the fans all around us here. We've heard some people chanting as they're waiting there at the end of the dog walk, and we're going to see those crowds growing even more. We've got a lot more to share with you as we celebrate the back-to-back national champions. Stay with us. We've got more to come with the 11 Alive National Championship celebration. Now been upgraded to a
And the only place where you can verify fact versus fiction.
11 Alive can verify that claim is false.
11 Alive News at 11 p.m., where you end the day ready to take on tomorrow.
Weather can't run from the 11 Alive Thunder Truck. A mobile weather center with the power and speed to chase down the strongest storms and bring you on-the-ground conditions. The 11 Alive Thunder Truck, sponsored by Landmark Dodge. Fighting social inequality is on all of us. That's why 11 Alive is committed to sharing diverse perspectives, exposing injustice, and finding solutions. Voices for Equality, sponsored by Georgia Power and our other partners.
The 11 Alive Storm Trackers. It's how you see weather happening now across Metro Atlanta.
These severe storms are now closing in.
We could be talking about damaging winds, hail, and
How you can plan ahead by knowing what's coming overhead.
heavy storms are rolling in.
Expect pop-up thunderstorms and rain all day long.
And how you'll be weather ready wherever you are.
We expect at any moment a tornado warning could be issued.
The 11 Alive Storm Trackers. It's how you'll be prepared and stay safe. 11 Alive Morning News.
We began with breaking news this
is
morning.
where you know what's happening now.
11 Alive is live on the scene.
Where you can confidently plan ahead
This severe weather is intensifying.
by knowing what's coming overhead. And where Atlanta's traffic expert
We've seen delays almost 30 minutes worth of
helps you get there on time, every time. 11 Alive Morning News is where you start the day prepared. Watch weekdays 5 to 7 a.m.
If you see breaking news or severe weather near you, snap it and share it using Near Me on the 11 Live News app. Want to verify if something's true or false? Record your question and send it. Download the 11 Alive News app to use Near Me.
11 Alive News at 11 p.m. is where you find out what's happening now across Metro Atlanta.
We begin tonight with breaking news out of Cobb County, where a neighborhood is now
Where you stay a step ahead of.
Hey everybody, welcome back to our championship celebration. What a beautiful day it is to be celebrating the back-to-back national champions. And one of the best parts whenever you're covering a national championship is rushing out onto the field and getting those interviews as soon as the clocks hit zero. It's such a fun and exhilarating moment. We talked to so many guys, from players, former players, and coaches. And right now you will find our Reggie Chapman with David Pollock.
For you, as somebody that also watches the team very closely, the leads red and black. I mean, for you, what is the thing that you maybe saw that popped out to you the most?
Well, it's just you wait 40 years for something and you want it so bad and you get it and then you get it again. So this is a much different feeling than last year. Last year was like relief, thank God. And this year it's like, is this real? Like back to back, so just surreal.
I think at this point we start talking about legacy. With Kirby Smart, he's got 2 titles to his name already. He's also still very young. I mean, what do you think this does for his overall legacy, and how much more do you think he can accomplish in his career?
I mean, I just hope he can keep up the pace of what he's doing, just the recruiting, and it's a tough world to recruit and all this stuff that goes on, but everybody's coming back almost next year. There's not a lot of guys they're going to lose. I mean, you're going to lose Darnell and Beal and Carter and Ringo, but you're not losing a ton, so a lot of guys that are going to be back, they're very experienced. Christopher Smith, another guy. But what they've built is sustainable, and it's kind of crazy. So
I think also people want to know Stetson Bennett. Obviously, he's won 2 titles in his time. He's stacked up against some of the greats that have ever played at Georgia. Where do you see him ranked to the other greats?
Well, first of all, he's the most accomplished quarterback in the BCS or playoff era. So think about that. Like back-to-back, what he did, 6 touchdowns in this game in 3 quarters. So it's pretty. It speaks for itself. Just everybody counted him out, but he forgot to listen. Everybody else listened, but he didn't.
I think my final question is, you take your analyst hat on, you just bring your fan hat in right now. How sweet is this for you to be able to watch your former team go out and win it again?
It's silly. It's just silly. It's fun to cover the sport. You can't hide who you. I mean, in the end, you're going to cheer for your team, your squad. So I didn't expect this dominant of a game and this dominant performance, but to follow up a national championship, 15 guys drafted, a new team, and to go undefeated. It's silly, and it's just something that you wouldn't have believed would have happened. We always look for the wrong thing to happen, the shoe to fall on the other foot, and now it seems like it's going the other direction. It's really fun.
That was our Reggie Chapman with Georgia great David Pollock. Such great insight there.
It really
David.
is.
He was throwing around the word legacy as well.
And what's so funny, when I think of David Pollock, I think of him as the football player.
Of course.
From a long time ago.
Yeah.
But now there's like this new generation who thinks of him as the game day guy and the
true.
ESPN analyst.
It's true. Like I said, Georgia great, but I think that a lot of people forget that, obviously, because they see him every single Saturday. He's doing great things on the national level. And what's really crazy is our guest today, Russ Tanner, knows him just a little bit.
Yes, it is.
Look, okay, this is a PG program,
Yes.
so you guys were college roommates.
Yes.
Say, some PG stories about him. What was it like rooming with David?
Yeah. Yeah, they're all.
What can you say? Be careful.
But it was a wild deal.
Yeah.
Because he would think we would do mat drills, which was our off-season conditioning thing.
Yeah.
And he used to make me so mad because I need my sleep. Like
Okay,
I'm a fat lineman. I need to rest. He would set the alarm to go off at 2:30 a.m.
No way.
And it was time to get like, you're late. And he did that. We lost our remote one time, so we cut a piece of bamboo to change the channel on the TV.
But I think it's so cool that, of course y'all had fun, but you met him at a camp when y'all were in high school.
Correct.
And y'all immediately connected. You both knew that football was a serious thing.
Well, yeah, we knew football was a serious bit at that time.
Yeah.
It's hilarious because the way we met, I didn't like him. He was trying to beat me in stretching, trying to stretch better than I was. I was like, who is this jerk?
Who was better?
I'm sure he was. He's ridiculous in everything he does. But pretty quick after that, we got on a flag football team and won the entire tournament at the camp. I was like, well, I guess we're best friends now. So, to be able to know each other since 11th grade, to play together, to room together, then to watch him be successful on the national level, but also know that he is a Bulldog through and through at heart, it's a pretty cool deal.
Yeah, he's done great things. You have as well. I'm sure that was a really incredible experience for both of you guys in college, but they were talking about a lot of interesting things in that interview. And one of the things that they said, they were throwing out the word legacy. What is exactly what Kirby Smart is building here at Georgia? Are we starting to throw that word out? Legacy, dynasty, those kind of words?
If Kirby retires tomorrow, if he announced on the stage that he's done, he's had a good run, he's going down as the greatest coach in the history of Georgia. And you're talking about a 6-year span.
Yeah.
You win 2 national championships. Like, the statue is coming at this point. But the thing that he is now building from, I don't know if you guys saw recruiting. They went to 100 high schools in the state of Georgia yesterday.
Yeah.
It never sleeps. It never rests.
Yeah.
So it's a relentless attitude in all aspects of the program that has us on a trajectory now where you feel like 2 championships is going to be the beginning of the legacy he's building. So if Kirby quits tomorrow, he goes down with a statue beside Coach Dooley's. If he stays another 10 years, who knows how great it's going to be.
There's been so many great coaches here at Georgia, too.
And, I think a lot of people don't realize, you coach, it's not just for the football season. You would think that Kirby and his family would have been able to take a vacation after the Natty, but no, it's recruiting the day after, right?
Yeah. What did he say? You can't allow something to creep into the program. I can't remember what it was. Basically, being entitled. I think it was entitled.
Oh, yeah.
And they try to root that out at all levels. This deal they're doing today, there's not a detail that hasn't been gone over. I promise you.
That's true.
The amount of aggression that happens from football field against TCU to a championship celebration at Sanford Stadium, Kirby turns over every rock, and that's why he's great.
And one of the things that he reminded fans was that even though this is a 2nd straight national championship, enjoy it, but don't get complacent, because remember, no team in college football has ever won 3 straight national championships. Dogs going to try to make history next year. But as we get closer to the beginning of the parade, we have, once again, Jennifer Mellamy and Faith Jesse at the beginning of the parade. Guys, is it getting a little bit more crowded there?
Oh, for sure. Yes. It certainly is. And Maria, I do have to comment on something that you just said, talking about that 3-peat. I think if anybody can do it, our back-to-back national championship Georgia Bulldogs can do it. And I've got someone with us, Tamika, who believes it as well. Tamika, you came all the way from Newnan. That was quite a drive to come out here and cheer on the Dogs one last time.
Yes, ma'am. I'm very excited for our Bulldogs. I wouldn't have missed it for the world. I am the #1 fan out here, you guys. And I know we're going to do it again. 3-peat, you guys.
Now, you said you went to that LSU game. What was the highlight for you for that game?
Sitting in the LSU section and kicking their butts.
I love it. That would be the highlight for me, too. One other question, because one of the best things about the parade is that you get to see the coaches and the players and everybody up front. Who are you most excited about seeing out here along the parade route?
Stetson. I bought Stet. Okay? I bought Stetson.
There's been a lot of talk about Stetson Bennett over the last few years. His story of being a walk-on, having to transfer out and coming back and fighting to win that job. Everybody's saying that a movie is coming. What do you love so much about Stetson Bennett?
The fact that he didn't give up. He had that dream ever since he was a kid, and he just kept fighting and fighting and fighting. So that's just a testimony, never to give up on your dream.
It certainly is. That is a word out here on the corner in Athens, Georgia. It is so much excitement out here, guys. And Maria and Chris, I will tell you that it does seem to me that there are even more people out here than the parade that we saw last year. And so the crowds are certainly out here braving the weather and certainly excited about the dogs that'll be coming around this corner shortly.
Absolutely. And you can actually see behind us, they blocked off. Can we see that, Stephen? Behind us, they blocked off the road right here. The parade is going to be coming around this way and down back. And we got a lot of energy. We got a lot of fans out here today. And so in just a few minutes when the parade starts, this is what it's going to be like, guys. Everybody's very excited. Very excited.
You know, it's not just the fans out here that are on two legs. It's a lot of four-legged fans.
There are a lot of four-legged
as well.
fans.
We've got some bulldogs and other sorts of puppies out here in the crowd. So this is a family affair for real out here.
Wait, and I think I see, is that Daisy the bulldog? Daisy, come on over here. We want to say hello to Daisy. Hi, Daisy.
All decked out in the Georgia gear.
This is Daisy's dad.
Just a big symbol. Just another symbol of the dog.
And Daisy's dad, what is your name?
Michael.
Michael. And Daisy's been walking around. Daisy is the star of the show
We just gotta
today.
support the dogs. Go dogs.
Go dogs.
Three-peat, baby. Three-peat.
We are ready. I think a lot of folks are now moving on to next season already, despite the fact that we're going to be losing some of our star players. We know they're going to be going in the draft. A lot of folks said last year that we might not be able to come back to this point because we lost so many. A historic 15 players from UGA went in the draft. That didn't stop the team from reloading and heading right back to the national championship and winning it. So a lot of fans out here are saying we could already do it again. Already.
They have a lot of faith, and they said, Kirby Smart, bring us another one.
That's right. We're going to send it out to another Bulldog fan. Savannah Levin's a grad out there along the route. Savannah, what are you seeing out there?
I love how we're talking about a three-peat already. I love that. What else I love about being a Bulldog, too, is seeing all the young Bulldogs come up. I'm surrounded by some right now, high schoolers right from Monroe, 45 minutes or so away. Future Bulldogs, you say, you want to come to Georgia someday. Why does this school mean so much to you?
It's just like one big family out here. The atmosphere is so cool, and I've grown up out here, have so many memories, and I just love the people and love the place.
Yeah, what about you?
Yeah, our family, we're season ticket holders. I've been a UGA fan my whole life, and it's just like the memories we make here is just, it's always a good time.
So it's like family memories for you too. What are some of the fondest memories you have watching the games?
Probably tailgating and the Tennessee game, and that was fun. Yeah, we always go as a family, so it's always really memorable.
Nothing better than that. And it's a middle school dance right now. Got the ladies on this side, the boys on this side. All right, boys, what about the dogs do you love so much?
I just loved it. Like, I like the community and everything, and then we're back-to-back championships. I mean, nothing else to say about it.
I know our other anchors were down there. They're interviewing people like they're talking about number 3 already. It's like, let's enjoy the moment, right? One at a time. What about you guys?
The atmosphere. I mean, you can't beat it. It's the best in the nation. I don't care what nobody says. I mean, the people are amazing. The games are even better. Just a great atmosphere.
If you guys could describe like the feeling out here today, what would that be? I'll start with you on that.
Very energetic. It's nice out here. A lot of fans. It's awesome out here.
Yeah. What about for you guys?
I mean, it's awesome.
I know. What else can you say, right?
It's hyped. I love it.
Hyped up. Yeah.
So you guys want to go to UGA someday? Are you seniors?
No, sophomore.
Sophomore.
Junior.
These kids are looking older and older these days, guys. So why UGA? Was it ever a question?
No, a lot of my family went here. They loved it, and I've just grown up out here, so I love the area and the atmosphere.
Okay, I love that, you guys. I'll let you get back to your spots. People have been out here since like 7, 8 this morning scoping out these spots. You can see hundreds of people along the dog walk. We're outside the Tate Center right now. Gonna shoot it over now to Maria, who's on the other side of Tate by Sanford. Maria, what's going on?
An 11 Alive dog sending it back to us, Savannah. Thank you so much. You can just hear the excitement, not only from Savannah's perspective there, but just from the fans. They're ready to see these players and the coaches and the staff come by during this parade. You know, just so you make that connection watching them, whether you're in Sanford Stadium or, you know, watching them on TV. But it's just so cool seeing these players who we kind of see as heroes now as winning the national championship right there, driving down the road. And of course, it'll be up close and personal right over there at the dog walk in just a little while.
It's such a great way to celebrate these players who have worked so
Alive storm trackers. It's how you see weather happening now across Metro Atlanta.
These severe storms are now closing
We
in.
could be talking about damaging winds, hail, and
How you can plan ahead by knowing what's coming overhead.
Heavy storms are rolling in.
Expect pop-up thunderstorms and rain all day long.
And how you'll be weather ready wherever you are.
We expect at any moment a tornado warning could be issued.
The 11 Alive storm trackers. It's how you'll be prepared and stay safe. 11 Alive Morning News
We began with breaking news this
is
morning.
where you know what's happening now.
11 Alive is live on the scene.
Where you can confidently plan ahead
This severe weather is intensifying.
by knowing what's coming overhead. And where Atlanta's traffic expert
We've seen delays almost 30 minutes worth of
helps you get there on time, every time. 11 Alive Morning News is where you start the day prepared. Watch weekdays 5 to 7 a.m.
If you see breaking news or severe weather near you, snap it and share it using Near Me on the 11 Live News app. Want to verify if something's true or false? Record your question and send it. Download the 11 Live News app to use Near Me.
11 Alive News at 11 p.m. is where you find out what's happening now across Metro Atlanta.
we begin tonight with breaking news out of Cobb County where a neighborhood is now...
Where you stay a step ahead of severe weather.
Our storm risk has now been upgraded to a...
And the only place where you can verify fact versus fiction.
11 Alive can verify that claim is false.
11 Alive News at 11 p.m. Where you end the day ready to take on tomorrow.
Weather can't run from the 11 Alive Thunder Truck. A mobile weather center with the power and speed to chase down the strongest storms and bring you on-the-ground conditions. The 11 Alive Thunder Truck, sponsored by Landmark Dodge. Fighting social inequality is on all of us. That's why 11 Alive is committed to sharing diverse perspectives, exposing injustice, and finding solutions. Voices for Equality.
All right, welcome back to the championship celebration. Before we get to the parade, we have
have a
Hank
guest.
here.
Give me here, Hank. Let's go, Hank.
Come on in here, Hank. That's fine. You walk in front of us. That's fine.
Oh, do I get him? Yes! We have dogs. Hank is here to celebrate the dogs winning another national
Hey, boy.
championship. Oh, hello, Hank. You're
What's
such
up,
a
big
good
dog?
boy.
Now, where is Hank from? Columbus, Georgia. All right.
Columbus, Georgia. What a beautiful doggy. Hank is ready. We're ready. This is an awesome day, isn't it, guys?
UGA X did not get to go to Los Angeles for the
Hank's scared.
championship.
It's okay, Hank.
But I'm hoping UGA's
Hank's
going to
ready
be
to
here
go.
today.
Hank's
wants to
ready to
do
go.
parade.
Here you go, Dad. Bye, Hank. It was great seeing
Hank.
you.
Oh.
See you later. Thanks for coming on. Yes, you're right.
Thank you.
UGA X did not make the trip to Los Angeles. That's a long way for a
It
Bulldog
is.
to
It
go,
is.
but hopefully he'll be here today.
Yeah, I would think he would. So that's going to be what we're going to be watching for when the parade starts, really in just a few minutes at any time.
I mean, we are just inching closer and closer, and you can already feel the buzz growing around Sanford Stadium, but the parade is going to start in just a couple of minutes. And right there at the beginning of the parade is where we find Faith and J Bell. You ladies have been there rocking it. The parade's about to start.
I know, and I'll say one thing that we've noticed a little bit lately is folks kind of jockeying for positions because they know that the anticipation is about to come to an end, that the players, the coaches, the entire team, the support staff, everyone's going to be making their way right through this corner to kick off this victory parade.
And let me tell you, when they come to the corner right here, they are going to be met with so much energy. Let me get some. Yes. People are so excited. And like you said, it is packed up here at the start
It really
of the
is,
parade.
and so many people have traveled from across the state of Georgia to be here today. I said earlier that I think this crowd is larger than what we saw for the original national championship parade that we saw last year, and so the crowds are bigger. And for fans that traveled out to LA, this is a big change because we were out there. I was out there in LA myself with my sister for the game. It was a soggy mess. Today we've got some sunshine,
The sun
thank
is out.
goodness. The weather is cooperating. The little bit of cold that we're dealing with is okay because people are sporting brand new back-to-back national championship gear out here today as they get ready to greet the dogs.
And many of you all already know that J Bell here is probably the biggest fan here at the parade. So, J-Bell, how does it feel for you to be here witnessing this for a second year in a row?
It's incredible, and I think a lot of Georgia fans will say that they have waited for so long for this moment, for this program. We've watched us kind of knock on the door of greatness, and we have finally reached that mountain peak there where the team is getting what they deserve because they have seen so much work that they've put into this.
Yeah.
We see what the mantras have been from Coach Kirby Smart, and we've seen the work that these players have put in, and the crowds are out here just waiting because this, exactly, they're really excited because they know that in just a few minutes, the back-to-back national championship Georgia Bulldogs will be coming around this corner. Dogs on top, back-to-back, three-peat.
Back-to-back.
That's a lot of what we're hearing out here today.
Everybody is saying three-peat. I love how you have people all up on the wall, people all around here. I love seeing all the Bulldogs that are out, like you said, the four-leg friends. And people out here are just, number one, there's just so much camaraderie, just so much excitement. People are faithful for the second season, even though you all will be losing Stetson Bennett. They say, you know what, Kirby Smart, he has really taken this team, he's really taken this program and really transformed it. And people are really confident.
They are.
It's going to be a really good season next year.
Exactly, and that's what we saw last year. And I think Kirby proved to everyone that it can be done, and it can be done here in Athens. We can reload. We can keep recruiting. We can continue to bring in that top caliber of players here to the Classic City to fight on for the Georgia Bulldogs. The chants are getting started out here. We've been folks have been asking who's that coming down the track, and now we've got the Georgia and the Bulldogs chant. So a lot of folks really getting ready because the minutes are counting down quickly.
So close, and I keep seeing people like look around the corner to see if anything is coming down as soon as we see something, but the streets are closed off, the police are out here blocking the way so nobody gets hit, and I do hear some motors starting to come down this way.
It does sound like there's some motors into this sense, and I think that's a big clue that folks are waiting on. We have got crowds.
Look at that.
Stephen, if you can see over there, last year it didn't seem like there were this many people that deep. A lot of folks trying to find the high ground so they can get that view of the team as they start to begin to come by. Stephen, I'm not sure if we can kind of show, like, there's a lot of interesting things. There's even a Georgia Bear with a jersey over there, and I think some of the first cars are getting ready to come around the corner and down the street.
We are
again, we're at the corner of Lumpkin and Pinecrest, and we're seeing a lot of the photographers that are officially on the job here starting to move around, and that just is another signal that we're just getting closer and closer to the start.
We are very close. I actually see some kids climbing some trees to try to get a better view up there. As long as they're careful.
Anything to see the dogs.
Anything to, and there's a helicopter, everybody, and I mean, just looking at the sea of red and black, people are just so excited to be out here. It's a beautiful day. You know, we had some rain and some storms, and Mother Nature said, it's going to be okay today.
Yeah, they certainly have. And a lot of the fans, it didn't matter what Mother Nature was going to give us today. They were going to be out here regardless to cheer on the dogs and to say hello, thank you for this season, this back-to-back season that we have seen. A lot of folks really grateful to see this time in Georgia's program. We've been waiting on it for so long, and now that it's finally here, folks would not miss an opportunity to come out and say, thank you, Coach Kirby Smart. Thank you to these players, to this staff who have helped to create this legacy that we're building here in the University of Georgia.
People driving from all over. In our last live shot, we actually heard from Tamika, who drove 2 hours from Noonan, or she said she rode in the back seat, chilling for 2 hours from Noonan.
That's the way to come to Athens, a ride.
And she was so excited. She said she is Georgia's #1 fan. And look, we have some. Here we go.
The cheers are going. We
have the start of the parade coming down. We see the red, white, and blue.
The police
escorting the start of the parade.
For the official start of the parade, the traffic motorcycles from Athens, Clark County have now begun. The parade is now officially underway, and you see them coming down the street. Folks are running around trying to get those top prime positions right now. We see Kirby Smart right here on your screen right now, getting ready to come by, the leader of this championship team, head coach Kirby Smart. We're seeing this Georgia State Patrol who are leading the way as the Bulldogs begin this parade. And Coach Smart has built such a legacy here at the University of Georgia. I think the crowds really are just grateful to have him, a Georgia grad, here building it. And I'm sure it really means a lot for for him to be able to do this at his alma mater.
He truly is beloved here, and you can see the mark he's really made on this school and this program. And as a non-UGA fan, or excuse me, a non-UGA alum, I am a UGA fan now. Let's get that straight.
Right, she's on board. Faith is on board with us.
I can see the love and the impact that Kirby Smart has had, not just for this community, but for football fans all over. I mean, looking at these last 2 seasons is really a fairy tale. And there he is with his wife right there.
And Coach, sir, we know y'all have been seeing Coach Smart, but he is just now getting to the corner where Faith and I are. He's along there with his wife, Mary Beth, and we see Coach Smart revving up the crowd there. He's got the cell phone out, taking this moment in. Coach Smart telling everybody, he's standing up in this convertible, telling everybody, cheer us on, cheer us on. We see the president of the University of Georgia along with Harry Dog, another Corvette. This is the way to arrive to a parade in style. We're also seeing athletic director Josh Brooks coming behind the president. A lot of them really excited to see the crowds that are out here to support this team. We've got some horns honking, some mean machine vehicles dressed out in red and black. And a lot of folks who are participating in this parade can't help but try to document this moment themselves. Yes. They've got their own phones out here, just like the crowd does, because they want to document everything that they're seeing. And it's so exciting. It's deafening crowds out here. It certainly feels like we're inside Sanford Stadium as these cars are starting to come by.
All right, we got a hayride coming on.
More. Yeah, we've got a flatbed out here right now.
The national champion.
Let's see who we got on this flatbed. It looks like might be maybe some family and friends.
Right, family and friends.
I see Coach Brian McClendon, who is a Georgia alum himself, out here on this flatbed. So this looks like we've got some coaches. I believe I see Coach Todd Munkin out here as well. And so this is likely some of the coaches and their families also getting some of this credit and well-deserved credit for helping to lead this team on the way. So they're going to be just like with some of the players with these hay bales as they ride down the street. You see the jerseys and the families waving, all excited to see the crowds that have come out here on this blustery Saturday to cheer on the Dogs.
I love when you're looking at the doors, that really stands out to me. You see that back to back.
Exactly. And they've got that new logo proudly displayed on the side of all of these trucks. And these are massive trucks. These streets in Athens are known for being small. So they are certainly doing a great job of avoiding the crowds out here. It is very impressive to see them maneuver. We've got folks inside the truck as well as the folks that are following behind. This looks like more coaches coming along with their families, and probably some support staff that are actually out here on some of these beds as well,
and I love
making their way through the crowds.
The baby Bulldogs on the hay rides, they are so cute in their red and black jumpers and
they're just taking it all in. It's really an incredible, and it's really a family moment. And you see, we can tell Stetson Bennett is here because the crowd is so excited. Stetson Bennett in his own convertible there. A lot of crowds really getting amped up to see the quarterback of this championship team out here greeting the crowd. It looks like he's got some other players with him riding along. They're really excited to see the first players coming along. And it's really an exciting moment here. We've got some trucks now, some more players on the way. And again, the players are now starting to make their way, so you can really feel even more excitement coming now from the crowds as they're starting to see some of their favorite players make their way around. We're trying to get some glimpses of who we're seeing on these flatbeds, but you can certainly tell these are team members, and they've got their phones out as well. They are out here taking this all in, documenting it all. They're so excited.
And we saw Christopher Smith in the front seat with Stetson Bennett. Now you can see more of the team on these Ford F-150s, BMWs. They are riding in style today, Miss Bellamy.
They certainly are, and they deserve it. A lot of folks, they've all got their cell phones out as well, taking in this moment from the fans that are celebrating this historic victory for our university. so many people out here really, really excited to see some of their favorite players. And I think one of the main attractions was Stetson Bennett, who we just saw a short time ago. We're starting to see more. We're hearing the horns honk rather, as the team members are starting to come. They're riding in style, but we're also hoping that they're staying safe. We're seeing some of them hanging out some of these vehicles here.
They're having a lot of fun. And look,
Yeah.
I gotta say, I mean, this is a clean ride that they're riding in. They're going about 2 miles per hour, so they're all right.
Yeah, there's a little bit of a hang up here on this crowd, but this is certainly giving everyone here at the start of the parade even more time to soak up with these players, to see them and cheer them on, say thank you.
They are having such a great time. The energy right here at the start is wild. We can barely hear each other kind of talking over because there's just so many screams, so many cheers. You can just feel the love coming here in Athens today. We are number one. Look, you heard that.
And it's such an incredible moment for these players. They work so hard throughout their careers, playing football, getting better, working to get to a moment like this. And so they're all really just able to take in this moment right now. The crowds are kind of a little subdued right now for a temporary moment as we're waiting to see more and more of these players come around. There's a bit of a bottleneck, but we'd want them to drive through slowly so all the fans along the route can get a chance to say hi, wave at the players, get some pictures, get some videos, and that's certainly something that we're excited to see because these players certainly deserve it. A lot of work going into a season like this, let alone two.
And I was going to say, you have to put yourself in the mindset of these boys, how much work. They were out there on practice, every single practice, out there on the field. Anytime things got hard, they had to push through and make it happen. And you guys are looking at an undefeated team, undefeated national championship.
A perfect 15-0 season, historic for our university. And the players are starting to get the crowd amped up. I told you that pause was only temporary because the players are now doing everything they can to keep this crowd as hype as this season has been. We're seeing more and more folks come by. They're in the trucks, they're in the convertibles, bundled up a little bit in some national championship gear. I'm hoping that they're in their layers as well because they're going to be outside for quite some time. Once this parade wraps up, we know they're going to be heading to the dog walk, the traditional dog walk, where Georgia fans, if you're not familiar, are usually able to get that high five in pre-game to see those fans along with the band and the cheerleaders and everybody else to hype them up before the game. And we're hearing that crowd again. Let's check out who's on this truck. More and more fans reacting to seeing some of these Georgia players. Really excited. Really just happy to be there. The players really enjoying this moment. We're hoping they're safe. We see him on the side of the truck now.
Hangs on there.
We are wanting them to make sure they make it to the end of the parade.
Absolutely. And I was going to say, if you guys have not gotten your national championship gear yet, I see a couple of tables out here selling it. So
there have been a lot of folks selling new gear out here on the campus of Athens and UGA.
Emphasis on
That's right. And right here at this truck right now, we're seeing Keely Ringo, number 5 Keely Ringo, who was responsible for so many dynamic plays this season and last. We do think that we will be seeing him head to the NFL very soon. But Keely Ringo right here, looking, smiling, and engaging with the fans. We've got fans near us that are actually talking, trying to have full conversations with Keely Ringo right there. Okay. She wants a picture. She wants a picture. She's getting a picture with Keely. He's got that smile up there for her. Not sure how allowed that is, but she said, I'm going to get my picture, and she is excited about it.
She's
very happy. And that's what these players get to see all the time, every day, every Saturday in Athens, rather, when these fans come out here to cheer on the Dogs. This is the type of electric atmosphere that they see and that they're used to. And so this is, for some of them, one last opportunity to see that great atmosphere, that great reaction, that camaraderie with the entire Bulldog Nation as a player.
And you talk about 4 decades between these national championships, and you'd speak to people who were at school for that championship in the 80s, and then being able to witness the championship, these 2 championships back to back now. I mean, it's just so much energy, so much excitement. And J Bell, being a
I want to tell you right. Well, give me just a second because we're seeing fans because of the bottleneck, because of the slowdown.
Yeah, they are coming to get autographs.
Coming to get autographs. A lot of folks. You see one person do it, you see others. So folks are going over there trying to find anything they can to get shirts, signs, autographed. People coming up to the trucks now to get pictures with the players. Looks like some law enforcement is coming in now to kind of put that to an end and try to get some of these folks back out of the road so that the parade can continue safely. A lot of folks really running out to the cars. Again, you saw one person do it and everybody else wanted to make sure that they could get their opportunities with these championship dogs as well. Another car coming here. The route's starting to get going a little bit more after somewhat of a pause out there. And again, we do want everybody to have that moment all along the route to see some of their favorite players as they continue to roll by here in Athens.
And I love how all of the players on the trucks, I mean, they're just so humble. They're just so grateful to be here.
Yeah.
These young men, you know, they worked very hard for these last 2 seasons. And I know some of them, you know, won't be with the team next year, but the others that will be, they're going to be looking to work hard to bring another championship home to Athens. So maybe we'll be at this parade again this time next year. Look!
Say hi to 11
Look,
Alive.
come over here, come say hi. I don't think you can get off the
They
car.
are certainly having fun.
That's
with
Kenny
that
McIntosh.
Thanks, Kenny. A lot of fun being had because the players know that this is just a moment that not everybody gets to experience in their lifetime, in their collegiate careers playing football, if they make it to that level. And so they are certainly soaking it in.
They are so much fun. You can just imagine being able to come in and the whole town coming. The people who have been watching on TV, who have been in the stadiums all season long.
We're seeing some high fives going on now,
Oh,
some
yeah.
fist bumps, and more folks coming from the other side. We see again, law enforcement trying to keep people safe out
Yeah.
here. A lot of kids running out and running out to the students. I'm trying to get a look at who this is. I think this might be Lad McConkey. I'm not sure. He's sitting there in the middle. I think that might be Lad McConkey. Police really trying to control the crowd here. Folks are running out with stuffed animals and everything. A lot of excitement from the crowds. Really excited to see some of their favorite Georgia players.
I'll tell you what, this energy today, boy, I haven't seen energy like this in a long time. These fans are on a whole nother level today, and it's a really good one.
Yeah,
very,
there's
very
certainly a lot
excited.
going, and again, they are working to keep everybody safe because this is a lot of children.
Yes.
Folks ducking from behind the partitions to get to the players because for some, this is as close as they get to some of the team members.
You know, you actually just made a good point because, you know, some young people, to some fans, and who is this coming up here? Okay, some more players on the truck here. People, you watch these guys play all season long. You have them on your video games, you have posters, and now you're actually seeing them in person. Like you said, being able to walk up, shake a hand, give a hug, get an autograph. That's just a
Actually,
dream
I
come
said
true for some
earlier, I
people.
thought that was Lad McConkey. I couldn't tell. This is Lad McConkey here.
Okay.
You see him there with the curls on top. A big fan favorite this year. Putting in a lot of work. And thanks to Maria Martin and some of her coverage on this national championship run, we now know, along with some of the fellow Bulldogs who didn't know, that Lad is his middle name. His first name is Andrew.
All right.
Kind of like Andrew Smart, Coach Kirby Smart's youngest son. This is a different
got a
bit of a
little
vibe
DJ.
from this truck.
Okay.
This truck's got their own soundtrack going.
We got a whole
And the
little
players
dance
are
party
feeling
going
it.
on.
They're vibing on the back of this truck for sure.
I love it. I love it. The energy, the celebration.
Yeah, that's the first truck that we've seen, the first vehicle that we've
With the
seen
music.
bumping their own music here.
Yeah, look, we're not mad at it. Not mad at it at all.
The players working to get the crowd hype and active, clapping along, cheering everybody. So excited to be a part of a day like this. It's something, again, that not everybody gets to experience.
Not everybody at all. I mean, you look at just the stats of how
Now
many teams make it this far.
We've got another car playing music. We're hearing The Devil Went Down to Georgia.
The devil went down
Kind
to
of
Georgia.
appropriate here. And we've got some horns blaring, so we're going to continue to check and see who's coming around the corner. We're getting a little bit of a pause again here in the parade as more and more folks are continuing to come around.
J-Bell, we have the pause. As a Bulldog yourself, how does this feel being out here, being able to see all this today?
It's great, and I think I'm really envious of people who are currently students to actually have this opportunity as a student. To be able to have that access on campus to come and enjoy the games as a student. I think it is a little bit different of an experience, and so they're probably really excited. We've got some pom-poms and stuff going now. We've got some linemen that are coming up right here in this fight.
We got the line in the house.
We got the line here in this Bulldog fire truck. Look, the sirens going. They are up high there. And I think they're up high on the truck, but up high today in general.
And the linemen,
to be in this moment.
You got to be tough to be in one of those positions.
You certainly do. And here comes some more familiar faces. And again, really, everybody is just so excited to be a part of this. They are documenting this day for themselves as well. We see all the cameras out here, sunglasses, a lot of excitement. Because this really is their day. Absolutely. They're talking to each other from one fire truck to another because they're just so hyped. They're so excited to be here.
And you got to have that Bulldog red on the fire trucks. And it looks like we have another 18-wheeler coming up here, holding some more of the team. Another hay ride.
Yeah.
Everybody. And these sirens, I tell you what, they are getting really, really pumped today.
All right, we're seeing St. Rutledge and Millet that have just come by not too long ago. Some big playmakers for the team, and now we're seeing even more team members on this big, humongous flatbed. National champion Bulldogs. Really excited here. And this one's cutting the corner kind of close. We're having to shift a little bit because they are just that close to all of the fans here. We've got even more coming. We've got even more fans coming on some of the golf carts that are up next here. And then some more officers that are rounding out this parade coverage.
Okay, and I believe
we're seeing some injured dogs here on this cart.
I believe this is one of the buses that they came back in from the airport.
Yeah, and we're seeing it decked out with that back-to-back with the palm trees, the 4 stars, and all of the things that are so symbolic of this run that the team has made.
So these are the team buses that we saw when the players
were landing. When the team returned back.
Yes, when they returned
LA.
back. We saw them come from Hartsfield all the way back to Athens in these buses, and here they are now in the parade.
And it looks like the parade is rounding out with a series of these buses, signaling that we're ending is what we're seeing here at the beginning is probably coming to an end as the team, though, continues to make its way, because we do know that there are so many people in the crowds, rather, that have lined up all the way up and down Lumpkin, all the way to the dog walk, which is what will be the next portion of this day, the dog walk, with more people lined up there to greet the team and the coaches as they make their way inside Sanford Stadium for that ceremony.
And I gotta just say, this has gotta be the most perfect day for this. The sun is out, the clouds are clear, blue skies, lots of smiles on faces, a lot of energy. We got pom-poms in the crowd. We got Bulldogs in the crowd.
And the fans are really excited for what they just witnessed. Still cheering on the Dogs, even though most of the players and coaches have already passed by the starting point. Folks still excited.
Very excited.
And some of them will now be making their way inside for that ceremony. And we will, of course, be bringing you that on 11 Alive Plus later on today for anyone who is sitting at home warm instead of out here on this cold, cool, blustery day. We'll have live coverage of this parade. Well, not live, but we'll have a re-air of everything that we just saw on this parade. So if you know anybody at home who wasn't able to make it out here to Athens, wasn't able to watch this live coverage, we will be wrapping it all up with a bow and putting it on our 11 Alive Plus app available on Roku and Amazon Fire TV. And if you are watching right now, you'll have a chance to relive all of the moments because it really is just a special time to be a Georgia Bulldog fan. It's great to be a Georgia Bulldog fan, but this really is a special time. We're seeing the barricades have gone up. Crowds are starting to move. And again, many of these people will be making their way to where Maria Martin and Chris Holcomb are right now because that's where the ceremony is going to be taking place. So we'll send it back to you guys.
Yeah, we are at the end of where everything is gonna move into our direction in just a little while. It's on the way here now. It's really interesting to see how the fans, this crowd, really growing. Where we are right now, we are, of course, you see the stadium behind us here, but the dog walk is right over there, and that's where the parade is going to now. The players are going to get out of their vehicles and get off of the backs of the trucks, and they will walk through the dog walk there between the bookstore and the Tate Center. They'll go down the stairs, then under the bridge and into the stadium. So we're at the part now that they're coming to, and we can't wait to see these players come by, and I know these fans are waiting too.
Oh my gosh, I saw all of the people in the shot just going crazy, and you could hear them around here just getting more and more excited. I have my notepad out because I'm quickly trying to scribble who we're seeing on the back of trucks and who all we're seeing. And Russ, it's awesome to see these guys celebrate. We're getting ready to see Kirby Smart come through really soon. You saw his assistant, Miss Ann.
Miss Ann.
She was in there. We saw so many guys, Stetson Bennett.
Stetson is riding with his center, Cedric Van Pran Granger. The dudes on that team love Stetson Bennett. That's why. He's riding with his stinking center, most important guy on the field. You love the dude.
I love that. A former center, of course, you got to shout out Cedric Van Pran. This is going to be such a cool moment, especially for some of those super seniors. Stetson is one of them. Obviously, we saw Christopher Smith, another super senior, Keely Ringo, who is not a super senior, but he did declare for the NFL draft. So for some of these guys that are leaving and going to the NFL, this is the moment to take it all in. Or not just going to the NFL, maybe going on to do whatever. You're doing other things. Lots of these guys go on to do really incredible things, but this parade is so exciting. I love this day. And the best part is, as you said, you can look at how many more people there are here now than when we first got here this morning.
Right. You know, so you were at the beginning, really Coach Rick's first recruiting class, right? And that's when the dog walk started, right? So you were part of the beginning of this tradition of the dog walk happening here on campus.
100%, and I think is Kirby on there now?
There's Kirby.
Here he comes.
Oh, he's waving up the crowd. You guys are looking at him exactly as we are.
Kirby better be ready, man. You want me to tell you the biggest issue with the dog walk, especially today?
Tell us.
These guys will listen to Kirby's pregame speech, and when you walk through that, those fans are way more fired up than you are. You would better put your chest protectors on because they will bruise you with all the slaps and the fired upness. And Kirby is nothing. I mean, he's just putting it straight in their veins. I mean, it's just red meat to the wolves out there. So,
as a player, though, when you were coming into the stadium and walking through the dog walk, that fires you up even more, doesn't it? I mean, it's a good thing.
So the dog walk is what, 2 hours before the game?
Yeah.
So you're trying to peak at game time, but all the fans, they've been getting after it for several hours. Like, hey, man, chill out just a minute, but not today, baby.
That's right.
Fire it up as loud as you want to be. Like, we're here for all of the excitement today.
Not today. One of the coolest things that we're seeing right now is Kirby Smart, along with his family, his wife, Mary Beth, who was a collegiate athlete here at the University of Georgia. They also have their son, Andrew, who I was talking to Mary Beth when she was coming off the field in Los Angeles, guys, and I said, look, one of the coolest things to me is that Andrew is so involved with this program. And she said, you know what, honestly, Maria, I don't think we could get him away from this place if we tried. And they have tried a couple of different times, but he has pregame responsibilities. He's out there with the players, and any of the players that I talked to in Los Angeles this week, they said one of the coolest things is their interactions with Andrew Smart and how rare it is to have a head coach bring his son around and be as infiltrated with the program as he is. This is such a cool moment for that family.
My man's nickname is Boogie. All right, he did not get that name just by happen chance. So he is a wide open kid. He is Kirby Jr. The camera loves him, and I mean, I would subscribe to a channel of just watching Boogie on game day.
That'd be great.
It would be amazing.
Can we strap a GoPro to him or something? Because he's got these pregame warm-up drills just go. You got people on roofs trying to get spots of Kirby. You can hear everybody calling the dogs. I mean, Mary Beth just looking fantastic out there today. The Smart family taking in every single moment. This is incredible. This is a man who has had 3 national championship appearances. He's won 2 of them. You throw out the words legacy and what Kirby Smart is building here in Athens, it's probably possible that we're starting to talk about a dynasty being built. Russ, what do you think?
If you're saying a dynasty being built, absolutely.
Yeah.
You don't win back-to-back national championships, which has happened, 5 times in history?
Yes.
I think.
Yeah.
Bama claims a lot, but I don't know if they all count. So
I think it's 3 in the modern era, but it's fine.
Modern era stuff, it just doesn't happen very often.
Sure.
It is incredibly hard to win football games, especially at big-time SEC Power 5
SEC
stuff.
in general. I mean, yeah.
So with where we're at right now, they're already projected again by Vegas to be favorites in every game next year.
Yeah.
They're at the top of the mountain, and nobody else is even close right now. So it is an amazing time to be a Georgia Bulldog.
You know, one of the most amazing things to me, Chris, is that this is a team that lost so many guys to the NFL last year, especially even to the first round. And the whole conversation around specifically this Georgia defense was, they're going to drop off. They're not going to be as good as they were last year. And look at what they did. I mean, the defense really, it wasn't even close in a lot of these games. They were able to hold teams to very minimal points. I mean, the defense did an incredible job. So that is what Kirby is building. Teams that can sustain success, and he just reloads. It's the narrative that we've been talking about with Nick Saban for so long, his former boss. And now we're talking about Kirby Smart being the guy.
And you're a coach's wife. You know how these coaches, what's in their mind.
Unfortunately, yes, I do.
They are always looking for that motivation. And just that motivation of hearing, you lost 15 guys, y'all aren't going to be as good next year. That got them going, I think.
It's actually really funny because the video that went viral on my Twitter was literally with Nolan Smith saying, they said we were going to go 7-5. Sir, nobody thought you were going to go 7-5, but people are believing on this program that they are the underdogs, and they should by no means ever think that.
Stetson's been an underdog his whole life.
Sure.
This year, you're talking about the defense. There were no superstars on the defense this year. It's like when Irk Russell used to coach the no-name Dogs. It was just a bunch of pit bulls that got after it every single week and wouldn't let go when it was time to go.
Some of the stuff that we're looking at right now, sorry to interrupt you,
you.
You're going to see Stetson Bennett coming up on this car. You were just talking about him. He is sitting with, of course, his center, which is what Russ was alluding to earlier. Cedric Van Pran, what an awesome dude. Such a great guy to talk to. Had an incredible season as usual. In that passenger seat, in the front right passenger seat, we've been talking about him. He's a super senior, Christopher Smith. So excited to go out strong here in Athens. Continue your thought. I'm sorry about that.
I don't even know what I was saying.
I don't know.
I'm distracted by centers and Stetson Bennett now. So.
I mean, to be distracted by a center, I think is great for you. You're like, yes, go center. Who else are we looking at?
About it, but somebody's about to sell a lot of sweatshirts with what Stetson has on today.
That is
get
true.
A lot of press time,
He's the guy that puts Georgia on the map. He's been doing a great job of doing that for sure. You've got a bunch of different guys. To be totally honest with you guys, it's a little hard to see who these guys are. We got Christian Miller on one of these cars. We're trying to make them out as you're seeing them as well. Seeing these individual cars drive by, this is nice because it's a little bit slower than what we saw with the Braves parade, which is great.
That's Wallace, I believe.
Yep.
I'm loving seeing the cars,
Alexander,
too.
By the way, that's going to be one of the superstars of this team in the next few years.
Bear Alexander is someone that just went by. Why do you say that?
Michael Williams, Smile Munden.
Yeah.
This year's defense didn't have superstars. Next year's will.
Tell me why you think that specifically Bear Alexander is going to be a superstar.
Well, you look at Bear Alexander, you're like, okay, he's an average-sized dude. Well, he's 6'5", 330, and he moves side to side like nobody's business. Jalen Carter isn't the biggest dude on the field, but he's extremely powerful and he can move. That's the same mold Bear Alexander's in. If you're a true freshman and you play on the defense line for the University of Georgia, you're very special.
Oh, yeah.
So Bear Alexander was doing that this year. Michael Williams, by the end of the year, was probably the best defense lineman we had on the team. So the future is bright, to say the least, as far as how the Dogs look on defense for the foreseeable future.
It's crazy because when I was writing down some of the guys that are returning for this Georgia team, Michael Williams was one of the ones that I starred and circled because he's one that had an incredible year, but also he will have an awesome season, I think, moving forward. So when you talk about little to no drop-off, you look at guys like what you just mentioned.
Yeah, I mean, you expect the defense next year to be elite again. This year felt like a rebuilding year for defense, but you had a lot of guys step up and just do their job all year long. You feel like coming back into next year again, this defense, the amount of talent that Kirby has now accumulated over here in Sanford Stadium on Saturdays is unfathomable.
Yeah.
It's crazy to think what he's doing.
That's a nightmare to hear you say that from other teams. You're like, wait, what? This is a rebuilding year for the defense? What are you talking about? But it really is.
Bulldogs.
Yeah, I love post-game interviews, and I was listening to the TCU stuff after it, and one of their guys, he's like, man, we just hope to be on the tier that Georgia and Alabama are on soon.
Yeah.
So the amount of teams that just have the talent to compete with Georgia right now, there's only 3 or 4 in the country. And, again, I've said it like 5 times.
Yeah.
What a great time to be a Dog. I mean, as a letterman, somebody who was here that was able to, be a part of this so long. I'm glad I played when I did because I wouldn't sniff the field anymore. I mean, these guys are big, fast, strong. We saw the recruits walk by here a while ago.
We did, yeah.
They're enormous human beings.
They truly
even the ones
are.
they're recruiting out of high school now. So it's crazy.
And what a time as a recruit. You're coming here and you're seeing all of this. Keely Ringo coming up on this pickup truck. Let's talk about Keely for a second because this was a guy who was on the edge of maybe declaring for the NFL draft or not. And he declared. He said, I'm going to go to the NFL draft. This is it. He is the guy that his first ever interception in college football was a pick 6 in the national championship game
against
last
Alabama.
year. Against Alabama, nonetheless. So Keely Ringo moving on. Good to see him doing great things as well.
Has there ever been a man in the state of Georgia that made that made as many grown men cry as Keely Ringo did?
Probably not, honestly.
It brought a tear
I'm
to
not
my
gonna lie
eye.
to you. It got a little dusty up in the Lucas Oil Stadium last year.
A little dusty. You probably shed a tear or
Keely
two.
Ringo, though, was an absolute stud all year long.
Yeah.
He started catching a little flack by the end of the year
He
because
did.
we played Ohio State, and they said, oh, they're picking on him. I saw some stats on that, and, when they targeted Keely Ringo, they were about 50% passing for about 78 yards.
Yeah.
If they target anybody else, they were 17 for 18 for 300 yards. Like, understand Keely Ringo is a stud. He's the new breed of cornerback that you've got to have to compete. He's big, he's fast, and he's a thick, physical dude who's not afraid to tackle. And that's what Kirby brings in this program over and over. They're big, tall, long, and strong dudes. And Keely Ringo is going to be one of the guys we miss tremendously next year.
And here's one of the things that I think people need to remember, too. You're not starting at corner for the University of Georgia for Kirby Smart if you're not good. I'm sorry.
You're going to be a top three round draft pick in the NFL if you start here on the defense side of the ball, in all likelihood.
I believe that. We also saw Kendall Milton going by. He is a running back from California, got to play in Los Angeles. Kendall Milton will be returning, which is huge for the University of Georgia. So will Brock Bowers, the tight end that is honestly just so sensational. It's impossible. He just drove by. It's impossible to really put into words how much Brock has meant to this offense.
So we'll know when Brock comes in because we're going to hear grown men and 13-year-old girls go, ah! It'll be my daughter over there. So, Brock Bowers, here's your statement for the day.
Yeah.
Brock Bowers is the best player in college football from a positional standpoint. There's never been a tight end in our history and anywhere else in college football right now that does the things that he does for you from a blocking standpoint, running routes, going and getting the ball, breaking tackles. He's a generational talent that is unfair for him to get to come back one more year because he'd be a top 10 pick in the NFL as a tight end.
And I'm so glad we saw more of him in the national championship than we did. I feel like we didn't see a lot of him at the Ohio State game.
Yeah. Hey, and that's a Todd Monken deal.
For sure.
Because you can scheme up to take guys away from it. And again, we moved the ball against Ohio State plenty, but in this last game, they decided, it seemed like they made a concerted effort very quick to get the difference maker, who is Brock Bowers, the ball.
Yes.
And when he gets the ball, great things happen every single time. So.
I'm glad that you said that he could be a top 10 draft pick. We saw Kyle Pitts, who was the highest drafted tight end in NFL history, go to the Atlanta Falcons. Brock maybe will give him a run for his money. We'll see. They are going to lose another tight end in Darnell Washington. He is a treat. This dude is huge. And if you've never seen him in person, it's unbelievable. He's like 6'7". He is just a freak of nature. It was good to see him get into the championship game after getting hurt a little bit. We have not yet seen Darnell on these floats, but I just wanted to mention that he is a tight end that Georgia's going to be losing. But to get Brock Bowers back, that's pretty incredible.
Yeah, Darnell Washington brought a dimension to the offense that college football's probably never seen.
Yeah,
because he could line up. He's basically another tackle for you, who get in big run sets and just pushing guys off the ball. Yeah. That same time they split out. Now you got a 5'9" guy looking at him like, Coach, hey, help, double take calling something, because he's just a nightmare for everybody who plays against from a matchup standpoint. So yeah, Big O, my favorite play in the national championship game from him. He caught a few balls, but one of the balls we threw, I think actually to Brock, Darnell Washington blocked a guy.
I know exactly
all the way to Pasadena.
Literally,
we were in Inglewood. That's a long way away. So
We also
Darnell
have
Washington
Stetson.
moves people.
We also have Stetson's brother Luke on here as well. I talked to him earlier in the week in California, and he told me, because I said, "Did you ever believe they're 6 years apart?" And I said, "Did you ever think you were going to play football with your brother?" And he said, "No." But when he told me he was coming back, it was really, really special for them to share the field together, to be on the same team together. He's a wide receiver for Georgia. Obviously, did not play a whole ton, but to have Luke Bennett and Stetson Bennett share that moment, I'm sure is really incredible. And now we're looking at Ladd McConkey as well. Let's talk about Ladd for a second.
Yes.
Actually, first name, Andrew Ladd McConkey.
Did not know that.
He has been, nobody knew that until this week, till he told us, actually. Shout out to our producer, our wonderful producer, Megan Smedley, for finding out that information. The guys were so shocked when we said, hey, his name's not really Ladd, it's his middle name. But let's talk about Ladd McConkey and the dimensions that he brings to this offense, because this is a dude that no one really thought could be as dangerous as he was.
Yeah. Champagne spraying.
Champagne sprays.
They're breaking it out. You know, Ladd McConkey is a guy, you look at Darnell Washington, like he's a mountain of a man, a physical freak that we've never seen the likes of.
Yeah.
Ladd McConkey looks like he's to be pledging for one of the fraternities down the road.
Right,
and
yeah.
that's going to be the peak of his college career.
It's true.
I mean, maybe he's an intramural, a really good player. I saw somebody say his helmet doesn't even fit him right, but he gets on the field, his knack to go get the football, even in tough situations. He's tough, he's quick, he's smart, and he's the guy that Stetson probably trusted more than anybody else this year. He finds the ball, and the ball finds him. He is a playmaker in every sense of the word, and I'm glad we got him one more year, hopefully.
Interesting that he wasn't a really highly recruited player either, but yet rose to the top of this team.
He wanted to go to Tennessee, by the way. His family's Tennessee people, but they didn't want him. So they tossed it to him, and hey, he's a stinking baller.
He has been such a baller. You know who else is out there? A University of Georgia grad that has been doing such an excellent job with the coverage today. We have Savannah Levins. The dog walk is getting started. Savannah, what's going on out there? How crowded is it?
Oh man, it is packed. Hundreds of fans out here. We got people in trees, we got people on shoulders, and it looks like the dog walk just starting. There it is. The band is firing up. This right here is such a cool tradition, as you guys were saying. Usually starts 2 hours before the game, just a way to get the players hyped up before they play. This right here is totally different though. This is just a moment for these players, the staff, to take it in. All this love, all these fans, and let me tell you, that Georgia blood runs deep. What I think is so cool is just the history of this school. Right now you can hear the band playing. That's the Redcoats. They go back to 1905. They actually played in on the world stage to announce that America was joining World War I. And that same band is here now playing, welcoming the Georgia Bulldogs into Sanford, moving back to where Maria and Chris are right now, surrounded by so much love and so many fans. I've actually got a couple right here. You guys came from Atlanta.
We came all the way from Atlanta.
Friends of 30 years.
30 years. We're elated to be here. Dedicated, loyal Georgia Bulldog fan.
What do you love so much about Georgia?
Georgia is a melting pot where everyone can come and feel comfortable in their home.
We're a melting pot. We're number one. So again, they're coming down the dog walk right now. Thank you, ladies. You did great. And the other thing too is there's so many fans, young and old, and traveling from. Oh, looks like we see Kirby coming down right now, and you can hear the reactions of the crowd. I'm kind of behind the crowd right now, so I'm listening to my producers as to who they're seeing right now. But I know we got Stetson up there leading the pack, Kirby Smart. Man, you got to believe that he is loving this right now. It probably doesn't get old. 2 in a row, sure, but this right here cannot get old. We got the marching band going in full force right now. And speaking of traditions, I got here probably around 8 a.m. and I heard that chapel bell ring. And if you know anything about UGA, you know that the sound of that bell signals victory, signals celebration. I used to ring it when I would ace my exams, and it has been going all day today. It's over on North Campus. And speaking of history, again, that bell goes back to the 1800s. I think it was 1890s when it was first rang for victory. And that sound, along with the band, along with what you hear right now, Go Dogs, this has been going for hours. GIA, oh man, gotta love that. Here they come down the dog walk right now. I'm on my tippy toes right now. This is a 5'4" Bulldog right here, but you can see all the players, the staff kind of up on those trucks, waving to the crowds. as they move on in. Can I ask you guys?
Oh my goodness.
So I was talking about generations of Bulldogs. You got this sweetie. Is this your daughter?
Yes, it is.
How old is she?
She is almost 2.
So why did you want to be here with her today, with your family?
Because we grew up going here, and she'll grow up going here.
So you're a Georgia Bulldog?
Yep.
What's your favorite Georgia tradition?
Coming here and tailgating with my whole family.
Did you ever do the dog walk when you were in school?
Probably once or twice.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Tailgate right down here, so we do every game.
That's awesome. So what do you want your daughter to grow up with?
A love of Georgia.
Absolutely. What do you think, girlie?
You say go Dogs?
She said, it's cold and I'm tired, girlfriend. All right, so they're moving through right now. This dog walk absolutely packed. I think you can probably see with our camera shot right now, all the people literally up in the trees, people decked out in all their Georgia gear, the cold's not holding them back. The band going in full force, and I think they're gonna make their way right through here, the Tate Student Center. This is where a lot of students study. The bookstore is down here as well, and they're making their way right now to Sanford, where Maria and Chris are standing by. You guys, I want to toss it down to you. I feel the vibes are great here. How about down there?
We just heard the crowd roar because they're seeing the first signs now on this end of the dog walk as Coach Kirby Smart and his family are walking up close to us, and just seeing that first glimpse, you're hearing everybody get so excited.
I mean, it's unbelievable. What incredible shots of Kirby Smart and his family. Him calling the dogs. I mean, this is, as we've mentioned, such a special moment, not just for Kirby Smart, but for Athens. And we talk about they've done this before. They did this last year, but what does that mean? It doesn't really mean anything because he's enjoying every single moment, because you really never know when your next championship's going to be, Russ. And you actually were inside the stadium last year for the celebration, but you haven't gotten to see the parade like this as a former player.
Yeah.
You were one of the guys that laid the foundation for this to be possible. What is this moment like?
Well, you're too kind for me, but to be a part of the brotherhood that was there, it's beyond special.
Yeah.
You know, that to me, that's one of the coolest things about Kirby being our coach, by the way, is Kirby loves the University of Georgia as much as the random guy from Tifton who drove up here today.
Yeah.
He loves it as much as the folks who came all the way from Conyers or Wrightsville, Georgia, my hometown. Like, he bleeds the red and black. He's known it his whole life. So for him to be a part of this is beyond special for this university and this institution. Like, he loves it. He's not going anywhere. This is where he wants to be. It is his dream job of all dream jobs, and he's at the top of the stinking mountain and has us there. So I just hope these players today can soak in how special this is. Like, the chances that we do this again next year are not real high.
Right.
It doesn't matter. It's just so hard to win. And for them to get to do it 2 years in a row, there's not words in our Georgia dialect to properly explain what these guys are getting to experience today. And I'm just so pumped for them.
I mean, Kirby has been such a slam dunk, and nobody's arguing that, obviously. But to be a former player, be able to be the head coach and build what we believe is becoming a dynasty, a legacy at the University of Georgia is really incredible. And, you know, Russ was talking about just how hard it is in college football. You've got the transfer portal now. You've got the NIL now. This is stuff that guys like Russ never had to deal with. So Kirby is ever changing with college football, which is so important. And that is exactly how you get to the top of the mountain. Not just get there, because getting to the top, people have done that. Nick Saban has done that. But sustaining the success, Chris, what he's building in Athens is so special.
And just all those changes. I mean, recruiting now with name, image, and likeness is so different than it was just a couple of years ago.
You have 2 recruiting periods now. It's crazy.
Yeah, and just to see that some players are going with however they're going to get the most money versus where maybe their dream school is.
So you brought up a really good point, and I want to ask your perspective on this as well, because Kirby talked about this. He said, honestly, thinking about some guys like Kenny McIntosh, for example, could make me cry. He literally said that when we were in Los Angeles, because he's talking about guys that are selfless for the program. It's a hard thing to do in college football these days, whether you like it or not, but this is a bunch of dudes who love the University of Georgia, who came back when they could go somewhere else, and it's been so incredible to watch that.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
And the amount of buy-in that Kirby has created from the guys in this program is crazy. I think Kirby is honest to a fault a lot of times, and he does that even with the recruiting. You're seeing now, if you follow the national media stuff, there are guys trying to get out of letters of intent they signed 2 or 3, like a month or so ago, because NIL stuff's not coming out.
Yeah.
Kirby seems to be really honest with these guys, just tell them, like, look, here's where you're at. We're going to take care of you. You're going to be in a good position. Financially, you're going to be really comfortable at Georgia. But if you do the things we do, we're putting you in position to have generational money for you, your family, and your kids' kids to come.
Yeah.
If you go through our program and come out the other side and make it to the NFL. So I think he sells a vision that the product on the field and what's happening in the draft backs up. And guys can look at it and believe what he says. And they're like, all right, I'm going to be a part of that. For a guy like Kenny McIntosh, Kenny's been a good player for Georgia, right? He's been a guy that's going to go down as a DGD. We love him. But this year, he transitioned into a superstar that's going to be remembered as long as University of Georgia has a football team again, as one of the cogs of this back-to-back national championship team. And now he's about to go make a lot of money in the NFL.
I know.
So what Kirby's telling these guys is he's being brutally honest with them. And the guys that buy in see success that they can't even imagine.
And one of the guys that is seeing some success that he can't even imagine would be Stetson Bennett. There he is with, it looks like Jamon Dumas-Johnson. I can't really make out his picture, but it is Jamon Dumas-Johnson, his boy. Jamon Dumas-Johnson, one of the standouts on the Dogs defense that will be returning next year. But Stetson Bennett just running through the crowd. Whether you have believed that he is a legend or will be a legend or not, this dude, we were talking about it when you guys couldn't hear us, Russ and I were. Look at the stats for Stetson. He has built something incredible for himself. A former walk-on. This guy was on the scout team at the Rose Bowl the last time that Georgia was in California before they were there for the national championship. He was helping out the defense on scout team. And now look at him. He's got 2 rings to prove it. He's going to go down as perhaps the best quarterback in Georgia history. His stats say so. His rings say so. Good for Stetson. I mean, what a terrific day. I hope he soaks in every moment, whatever's next for Stet. Today's going to be a great day for him.
And just to see him celebrate this, I mean, I don't know that we can even fathom the pressure that he was under as being the underdog and hearing all the chatter around him about he's not our guy. Some fans didn't want him. Some fans did. And he overcame all of that. And just this is, of course, the national championship is the culmination of that.
Sure.
But just seeing him be able to connect with the fans and see that support that he has now.
Probably one of the things that helped him out is because he had a flip phone last year. He was talking about the flip phone. I don't even know how you even get cell service with those things anymore. He said it was great because he really had barely worked half the time.
He may be smarter than the rest of us.
I mean, honestly, he probably is, but he did ditch the flip phone. He did confirm that. He's got an iPhone
has played
now.
in how many college football playoff games?
Yeah.
How many? Do you know?
Let's see. 4.
How many most valuable players does Stetson have from those 4 games?
4.
He was the most
that's
outstanding
right.
offensive
MVP
player
in every
all
single
4
one. That's
games
right.
he played in the playoffs. That's not even fathomable for the amount of talent that Georgia has.
true.
For the same guy to be the offensive MVP of all 4 playoff games.
It's crazy. It's one of the things that we're not talking about enough, right? Because in every single playoff appearance that you've had, you're an offensive MVP. That's so hard to do, you guys. And the fact that he was able to do that, we got to go Dogs and a bark in our microphone. It's getting a little crazy out here. It made me jump a little bit too. We got Brock Bowers coming out right now, taking some pictures with the fans. Ladd McConkey as well. These are some guys soaking in the moment as they should. Back-to-back national championships for the Georgia Bulldogs. What an unbelievable feat. And Brock Bowers got to do it in his home state. He said that was really cool. He told me that on the field. That was one of the things that he was really excited about. Not that Los Angeles is his hometown. He's more from the Napa Valley area, so a little bit more north in Northern California, but it was nice to have his family around. Reggie Chapman did an awesome job getting his mom and talking to his family and what it meant for Brock Bowers. As we said earlier in the broadcast, this is a tight end of tight ends. He is the tight end of tight ends. He's one of the ones that has stood out in this country for college football. Ladd McConkey, one of the guys who has been an underdog as well. A lot of people didn't believe that he would be very good at college football, and look at him now. He's out there with the best of them, right?
I hope you get a chance to see Ladd McConkey standing beside Broderick Jones and Amaris Mios.
I hope it happens.
I mean,
unless you haven't seen Broderick today. I think it was Broderick with the white.
Yeah, the face cover on.
The face covering
the whole thing.
on.
It's cold, by the way. Chris did not bring us warm weather today.
I
know. Hey, we're trying. The sun's it's starting. It's working really hard trying to warm us up.
We are seeing some sunshine out here, too.
Oh, plenty of sun. And, that just makes this celebration even more exciting. Imagine if we were out here on a rainy, cold day. That would not be fun. But it's almost, it is cold. But, you always in the fall when we have these football Saturdays when some of those games are 90 degrees and you're sweating to death and you long for those games that are a little bit cooler. And we've got this nice, cool celebration going on today.
Hey, this is football weather. Anybody that wants to complain about being out here today, watching all these guys come through, the faithful, coming out through the Tate Plaza, riding in the parade.
Oh.
I've seen guys catching balls in the parade, throwing them back to people, high-fiving everybody. We got people barking our ear like the atmosphere. It's getting hard to hear where we're at because the guys are starting to come through not far behind us. It's unbelievable what the Bulldog Nation is getting to experience.
It's so awesome. And as it gets closer to us, you could probably hear our energy pick up a little bit because we're vibing off of the crowd. We had, you just saw Broderick Jones a little while ago. He was on top of a float with that face covering that we were talking about. We saw Stetson's brother, Luke Bennett, as well. Also, he's not on the screen right now, but Ladd McConkey was wearing a college football playoff jacket. Super cool. One of those guys that we were talking about being an underdog. Of course, right? One of those guys that we were talking about being an underdog. Then you got a couple of guys just cool, calm, and collected, checking the cell phone, getting some videos maybe. But you have seen these players, which to me is the coolest part today, guys. You have seen these players interacting with the fans, going up to them, taking videos, taking selfies, high-fiving them. Because look at the crowd. Look at the scene in Athens, Georgia right now. This is about as crazy as it gets here. I mean, this does look like a dog walk, you guys, but honestly, to the nth degree. It is so massive, these crowds, and it's really cool to see these guys coming down.
And life for these guys, they don't know it yet. They're all young. It moves so fast. You go from a 22, 23, Stetson's case, 25-year-old guy, being here playing, thinking you're on top of the world, being able to celebrate with all that. The next thing you know, you're 40, you got 4 kids, and live down the road. So for these guys.
You're talking about you?
Yeah, maybe. Sounds familiar, right? So, again, I've said it once already. I just hope these guys can take a breath today and just do a panoramic view of what's going on around and realize how special this is. We take it for granted too often now as Georgia fans because we won 2 in a row. We're 29-1 over the last 2 years, whatever it is, all these accolades, everything like that. This is really hard.
Yeah.
This is not something that happens on a regular basis. So these guys, man, they're going to remember this forever. The rings are great, all that, but to be able to walk through these fans, this place, with their brothers who they've been in the locker room with for all these years is going to be something that they never get to experience again. So it's awesome.
It's really crazy. And let me be honest with you guys for a second because I've covered now 6 national championships, and I always tell myself I'm so lucky. And every time I stand on the field before I cover one, I take a deep breath and I take it in because I always tell myself I don't know when I'm going to get to be able to be here again. And like you said, I hope that these players stand there and really just acknowledge the day for what it is. It's an incredible celebration, but like you said, this is really just such an awesome accomplishment. And I'm proud of Athens, not that I thought anything else would happen, but for showing up in droves today. I even said maybe people won't be as excited because they won last year. I was wrong. Look at everybody. This is crazy.
And Jennifer Bellamy said that at the beginning of the parade. She said she thought that really the crowd up there looked even more crowded. And I'm like you. I was afraid that maybe people would be like, yeah, we did that last year. But to see this turnout today is great. And as you were saying, that these guys, the ones who are coming back next year, I hope that they'll use this as motivation and realize this doesn't happen every year, but maybe we can make it happen every year.
Keep talking.
Yeah, you're exactly right. I mean, I would love to make this an annual tradition. I'm an old curmudgeon. I don't want to always come to these things. I'd rather sit at my recliner at the house, have a nice steak, be comfortable and all that. But when you get down here in this, again, I've got 4 young kids. My daughter's 13, all the way down to a 3-year-old son. So for them to be able to come down here and see this is something they're going to remember forever. All these fans, the majority of folks never get a chance to strap on the helmet and the shoulder pads and be a part of it. So to be this close to greatness, to be this close to a legacy that Kirby and those guys are building is something that is unstinking believable.
So take us through that for a second because you said a lot of people can't strap up and play, which is true. And a lot of the people that are here in Athens celebrating these dogs today were not able to experience what you have. But it's very rare for guys to experience this moment, too, as players. Just give me that perspective a little bit.
Look, I was a part of some great teams. Like you said, we won the SEC twice.
Yes.
Played for it 3 times, but we never quite got over the mountain. Again, if we were in the playoff era they're in now, I think we would have.
Okay.
But the percentage of kids that play college football is like 0.01%. I don't even know what the numbers. I'm making stats up, but the percentage of those guys who then make it to play for the national championship, much less win it, is you're part of such an exclusive brotherhood now of people that have a ring that say national champions that we can't even understand what it means at this point. I think we'll look back on this 5-10 years from now and say, golly, what Kirby, Ladd, Stetson, Nolan Smith, Chris Smith, Cedric Van Pran, what those guys did for our university put us on a level that we didn't even think was attainable, 10 years ago.
I mean, it's kind of crazy because the talk in college football really has been Nick Saban and Alabama, considering all of the championships that he's won. He won one with LSU as well. But now it's starting to be Kirby Smart. I mean, he's the guy that you're going to start. It's funny because your boy, David Pollack, in front of Coach Saban on ESPN, said that Kirby and Georgia is the team to beat now in college football. Do you believe that?
Well, I mean, we've won 2 in a row, so I don't think you can even argue that if you want to. And, in that moment, we were giving Pollack a hard time this week about it, and he wasn't trying to disrespect Saban.
Yeah.
He was just stating facts. I mean,
Saban just happened to be sitting there.
Saban handled it well. Nick Saban's going to go down right now. If college football ends tomorrow, Nick Saban is the greatest coach of all time.
Yeah.
Without question, you can't argue. I don't care if you think I'm wrong and you're right. I'm right and you're wrong. The next man who's got a shot at beating Saban with that title, though, is Kirby Smart. I mean, he's got a chance to be in that echelon of coaches that is beyond great but goes into all-timers. So that's the chance Kirby has, and that's the mindset he has. So, I expect him to go there.
And it's really crazy because that is literally his former boss. He obviously was a part of national championships with Nick Saban at the University of Alabama, but Kirby has made his own way. He's created his own path. Of course, you take things from people that you work for and you instill that into your coaching style, but Kirby's done his own thing and he's doing it well. And the best part is he's really adapting, and what Saban was so good at for so long, Kirby is now excelling at, is that he's adapting with the change of college football, and this is the result. It is so hard. I can't stress that enough, and what we've been talking about all afternoon, how hard it is to win in college football. To do it twice, I can't express it enough how difficult it is.
Kirby doesn't get enough credit for being so far ahead of the curve when it comes to his transfer portal, NIL, recruiting, etc. Roster management is now the name of the game in college football. Trying to keep track of who's coming into your program, who's leaving your program, while making sure that you hit the number of scholarships that the NCAA allows, which is 85. Kirby has done that right now in a way that nobody else can match, and it didn't just happen by chance last year. He saw this coming years ago and started building his roster, started requiring his guys to recruit in such a way to where they are so far ahead of the curve from everybody else right now. People are now trying to emulate what the University of Georgia does on every single level of a program.
I mean, it is literally incredible what they're building here. And look at the dog walk, Chris. This is a beautiful sight. You're somebody who went to the University of Georgia. You're a big Dogs fan. And just give me really quickly your perspective on everything you're looking at.
This is just amazing. I love to see how Athens and Dog Nation has turned out to support this team and celebrate. It is going to be so exciting just to see them honored today inside Sanford Stadium. We're seeing the crowds behind us that are kind of moving more towards Sanford Stadium right now. They're going to be filling it up. And to find out that the general admission tickets, they offered these tickets first to season ticket holders and supporters, and then whatever was left went for general admission, and those got snapped up really quickly. And that's just the support of this team and the support of Dog Nation, and it's so great to see this today. And you can see how people behind us are kind of filing in from the dog walk, which was right over there in Tate Plaza between the Tate Center and the bookstore. Now everybody's kind of making their way over to the stadium. The bridge is full. People are trying to get any kind of glimpse that they can of these players.
It's so packed, and where else it's packed is along the dog walk. We have Savannah Levins. You've been hanging out there with a lot of different fans out there. Savannah, what have you learned and how excited these Dogs fans are on the dog walk?
Oh my God, people are so excited. Starting to make moves now, but the dog walk is still going. I've talked to fans of all ages all day. We had some little babies here. We had grandmas and grandpas. We had some high school students traveling, and now some actual Georgia Bulldogs. How's it going, guys?
Good, how are you?
Good. So tell me why you wanted to be out here for this parade today.
So we were here last year, and then they back-to-back, so we had to come back and do it all over again.
What's it like for you to be a Georgia Bulldog, like in the center on the national stage?
Oh, it's absolutely unreal. The fans are amazing. Everybody's excited. It's amazing.
What about for you guys? What's been the best part of the day?
Honestly, just seeing everybody here. I've been here for 3 years. 2 out of the 3 years, we've won a national championship. I mean, I can't ask for much better than this.
Are you guys lifetime Georgia Bulldog fans, or?
Yeah,
Okay, tell me about that.
I mean, growing up a Bulldog fan, my dad, like, diehard fan, he currently lives in California right now, and he's like, wishes he could be here, and I was like, I'll be here for you, so I had to do it.
I'm a Georgia Bulldog as well, and I remember those memories of, like, watching football with your parents. Do you have those as well, and did that really put an imprint on you?
Oh, yeah, we used to, like, have neighborhood watch parties for the Bulldogs, so being here is just a dream come true.
What about for you guys?
I'm definitely a first-generation Bulldog fan, so it's awesome to, like, be the first in my family to, like sports. It's awesome.
Did you recruit your family to be Bulldogs, though?
They are Bulldog fans because of me, so they actually care, and they're like, what are you doing today? Like, what's going on campus? It's awesome.
Yeah, my dad was a Florida fan until I got a scholarship to UGA, and then he was like, you're saving me money? All right, I'll root for the Dogs. So you guys are out here today. What's the plan on campus? I mean, have you heard from fellow students and stuff like that what you guys are going to do later?
Oh, I think everyone's going out tonight. I think it's going to be packed. It was packed on Monday. I'd never seen anything like it. Even last year, it was way worse this year. It was insane.
I was hearing the chapel bell ringing earlier, and I was talking earlier for people watching at home who might not know what that tradition is. Tell me a little bit about that, and have you rung the bell before?
Yeah, whenever we celebrate wins, national championship, even completing finals, we all go to the chapel bell, ring it. We don't have the fountain right now because they, emptied it out, but we used to jump in the fountain as well. It's awesome. I love the traditions we have here.
It's also been cool, because we were in COVID and lockdown for so long. This is the first time I've seen so many people come together and really just have the sense of community. Has it been that way for you?
Yeah, I mean, whenever we were here on Monday, it was insane because everyone was just so happy and rooting for the Dogs, and it was amazing.
Well, thank you guys so much. Have fun tonight. Stay safe. I appreciate you guys. Yeah, the dog walk kind of wrapping up here. You can see kind of the crowds moving onto the walkway, moving down to where Chris and Maria are. So we are going to toss back to them right now. Maria, how's it looking? Are people making their way to you?
Well, Savannah, people have certainly made their way to us. It is absolutely packed, you guys. I mean, this has changed from when we first started sitting here a couple hours ago. You can see everybody behind us. What is the feeling right now, Russ?
Well, we've had 3 Bulldogs come by. We've had people barking in our ears. I feel like I need security behind me because the amount of people who are now just starting to swell around us
it's unbelievable.
is overwhelming.
I mean, you can kind of see it on the TV, but not as much as you can feel it, really, Chris.
Yeah, we feel everybody coming in here now. It's just that energy that's moving in. Even so the dog walk came this way.
Yeah.
People are going over to the stadium, but then also a lot of people coming from North Campus here who just maybe didn't even go to the parade.
Yeah.
They're just coming in, parking downtown, and walking through campus, making their way to the stadium now for the ceremony.
In droves. I mean, you guys can't see behind the camera. There are people coming in droves, and they're all going to make their way inside Sanford Stadium where this national championship team, 2-time national championship team, will be honored. So the players will get a nice ceremony. I'm sure Kirby Smart will speak a little bit. This has just been such a great day so far. We've had beautiful weather.
Yes.
We can thank Chris for that, even though it is a tad cold.
A little cold, but that's okay.
We would have liked that fixed, but it's been such a beautiful day. And you're getting to see this side of the parade that you didn't see last year. What's your perspective on what this is actually like?
I'm sitting here. I'm just so excited for my kids.
Yeah.
Like, my kids are getting to experience this as dog fans. And it's crazy because, like, my daughter's 13. She's the oldest. My son, Rhett, who's going to peek in here behind
Say
me.
hey, Rhett's here. This is Rhett.
This is my
Rhett's
son, Rhett, who's 11. Like, they don't remember the days when Georgia wasn't near the top of the mountain. For the last 5 or 6 years, Georgia's been elite in everything, but now they get to be a part of, back-to-back national championships. My daughter said this year, she was on the radio with us, and we were talking about Florida. They said, are you concerned about Florida? She's like, no, we never lose to Florida. I'm like, whoa. You need to go listen to Larry Munson some more. You need to be more nervous about this.
That's funny.
So for them to be able to be down here today to experience this in a place that's so special to my wife and I, on campus here at University of Georgia, in Sanford Stadium, that's a memory that I get to have with them that's going to be cherished as long as I'm, have 2 feet on this earth.
I love that, and I hope that the players can take that perspective as well, and Kirby Smart as well. And Chris Holcomb, soak it in, my friend. This is so cool for you. You went to school here.
I'm just loving this. At the beginning of the broadcast, we said it's really neat to be sitting here on this street where I used to walk down across that bridge to go to classes right over there at the journalism school.
Cool.
And here we are right now sitting in this spot where I walked by every day and celebrating this team and really celebrating this university.
Yeah.
I mean, back-to-back national championships, of course, that's great for football. That's great for recruiting. But that is a big, huge difference in just the helping the image of this university and the attention that comes to this university, too. You know, we heard last year that just after winning the national championship last year, how the number of applications went up.
Oh, I'm sure.
For this year's class, just because so many students heard more about the University of Georgia, saw so much about it, and thought, hey, I want to be a part of that. Not necessarily just because of football, but it got their attention, and it's hard to get in here now. I'm glad that I went in 1982, in the fall of 1982. I joke about if I applied now with my SAT score from back then, the folks in the admissions office would have said, oh, bless his heart. I would have never gotten in here.
I don't know. I feel like you could have. Maybe.
I don't know.
No, it's such a cool moment for all of Athens, really. I mean, there are people from all over the state, all over the country probably, that came in here to Athens to witness this. And it's history. Back-to-back national championships. It's never been done in the college football playoff era. It's so incredibly special, you guys. And it's going to be so special to celebrate these players inside the stadium. I want to hear from you, Russ, again. You know, we're talking about the players' perspective and how today you want them to make sure that they soak in the moment. But truly, as I look around, I'm speechless. But can you even imagine what the players are thinking and feeling right now?
No, I can't. You know, there used to be a sign in the locker room we would come out, and we would all hit it when we went out, and it said, beware that you tread upon this hallowed sod, for you dare to tread where champions have tried. And now those guys get to be a part of the championship pedigree that guys after them for years and years and years get to understand what it means to be a part of the University of Georgia. And, you know, their names are in the rafters. Jerseys aren't being retired anymore. That doesn't happen.
Yeah.
But these guys right now are legends for as long as they live. And they got to be a part of back-to-back national champions, which is stuff that even guys like me could only dream of.
Yeah.
So it's such an exclusive brotherhood, such an exclusive club, and now they've moved on to the next level to where, you know, they get to be champions back-to-back for the rest of their lives as Bulldogs.
You know, one thing we haven't yet talked about today, and I don't know how it slipped everyone's mind, 65-7.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
65-7, folks. That is unbelievable. I mean, that is literally the largest margin of victory ever in a title game. It's the most points scored ever in a title game. Georgia, from the time that the coin flipped, dominated TCU from top to finish.
Look, when the Dogs lined up against those amphibious frogs from Texas, we thought, all right, this is a cool story. They're fun. And you go down and we score some points, and all of a sudden they throw the ball deep down the field and score. Mark's like, what's happening? Are they scoring? I was like, that was a busted coverage. Let's see what happens. And we get the ball right back and just boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
And TCU had no answer for anything we did the entire game. And it was I'm from Wrightsville, Georgia. In Wrightsville, Georgia, I'm going to just tell you, that was a butt whooping in every sense of the word.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no other way to explain it. You know, Georgia fans have wanted for years, it's like, Kirby, don't take your foot off the gas. Let's see what we're capable of. That's not Kirby's style. We get up 38-7, he chokes the game. He runs the ball. He's conservative on defense. He protects the quarterback. But not this game.
No, not that game at all.
He just kept reloading. Boom, boom, boom. Carson Beck comes in. Branson Robinson comes in. Boom, boom, boom. It was an absolute demolition of a great football team, which was TCU.
So I'm going to put you on the spot. Are you the most famous Bulldog from Wrightsville, Georgia?
I think maybe I make top 3, but not the best.
You do have a retired jersey, though, at your high school.
Yeah.
So there you go. That means that you're famous.
Me and Herschel.
That means
we
that
basically
you're
have the
famous.
same impact, right?
There you go. You know, one thing, when we go back to the national championship game, you were talking about some of these guys were coming in and they kept going at them. When they were putting true freshmen on the field that really didn't have very much playing experience, I said, oh, boy,
Yeah.
TCU is in big trouble.
I was thinking in the third quarter, like, how many national championship games do you get a chance to empty your bench and let fifth and sixth year guys who have been blood, sweat, and tear guys for this program but haven't got the spotlight?
So cool.
You saw number 20, Savion Clark, get in and have carries in the fourth quarter of the game.
Cool.
You saw walk-on offensive linemen who have been here busting their rear ends for Houston University for 3 and 4 years, having to handle Jalen Carter, having to go up against Cedric Van Pran, having to try to block Mykel Williams, whatever it is. They got to be on the field in the national championship game. That tells you what Kirby and his staff did to TCU.
And for anybody who says Georgia ran up the score,
no,
we weren't trying to run up the score. I mean, our secondary third string was
There's
in
no
there.
such thing as run up the score in the national championship game.
Exactly.
Do it. Score all all the
we're not
points you can.
playing the little giants today. Okay,
yeah.
They beat a lot of great teams to get where they are, and we're not taking our foot off the gas anymore. And plus, they're like, what would have happened if Georgia put their backups in? Well, we won 14-0 with the backups in. So
That's true.
you're not going to put Branson Robinson in and say, hey man, don't make those guys look too bad.
Right, right.
He gets in like, he would be the best player on their team, and he's our fourth-string running back.
This is a team that was eating chicken wings on the sideline because they were getting them from the field suites, and they had time to eat a chicken wing or two.
I don't know if I've ever been prouder as an offensive lineman to see my fellow offensive linemen eating chicken wings. I heard they were a little upset they didn't have some lemon garlic down there on the sideline. They just had the regular old barbecue, but that was unbelievable.
It was unbelievable. It's been unbelievable. We've had such an amazing day here on 11 Alive. I want to thank everybody who has been working so hard. The guys behind the camera, in the truck, at 11 Alive. We had so much fun.
Oh, yeah.
Jennifer Bellamy, Faith Jesse. We had Savannah Levins. We have Reggie Chapman. We have Russ Tanner. We have Chris Holcomb, Maria Martin. You can watch all of the parade coverage on 11alive.com. Chris, any final words real quick?
What a great day. It is so great to be an 11 Alive Bulldog here today, and it's so great to be a Georgia Bulldog. Let's celebrate this team. Let's hope we can do it again next year.
Let's do it. Dogs will go for 3 next year. If you want more coverage, you can go over to 11 Alive Plus. You can also look on 11alive.com. Also, when we are done inside Sanford Stadium, we'll wrap up the championship celebration. Have a fantastic day, Dogs fans. Enjoy this day. The Georgia Bulldogs are back-to-back national champions. Thanks for watching, everybody. Have a great afternoon.
Go
Dogs!
11 Alive can verify that claim is false.
11 Alive News at 11 p.m., where you end the day ready to take on tomorrow.
Weather can't run from the 11 Alive Thunder Truck.